Hey everyone, and welcome to the Soul Star Cafe. I have my favorite counselor of all time, Nathaniel Mason, with us today, and we're going to talk together about some self-care, some energy hygiene. So, welcome back, Nathaniel.
Yeah, so good to be back. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. All right, so let's just do a short video talking about all that. And how do you want to get started?
Well, maybe I'll ask the first question. And it's a question I like to ask a lot of my students and clients. We hear the word self-care a lot, and it means different things to different people. But like for you, as someone who does all the spiritual healing and cleansing that you do, what are like three or four things that are really critical to your self-care that are non-negotiable?
Oh, it's a great question. I think the first one that comes to mind for me, and I think this should be, I feel like it should be for a lot of people, is getting enough sleep. That's really critical.
I love that.
And that we get solid sleep, and going to bed at the same time every night.
Mm.
And if you're a night owl, you can go to bed later, but sleep later.
Hmm.
Don't go to bed at 1 or 12 or 1 and get up at 5 or 6. That doesn't make any, to me it doesn't make any sense. I need a good
Right.
8 or 9 hours of sleep. And so, because oftentimes we're just really getting a huge reset, and it's just so important for our day to be very, very well rested. You can't really be a good, from again my perspective, you can't be
Yeah.
really good at what you do if you're tired all day long. You're
Oh, I'm
really.
the same way. I love that you're saying this.
Yeah. So I think that that would be one. One big thing for me is the sleeping, because I know years ago I was thrown off. About 25 years ago, I was just the consummate workaholic, and I thought I
Hmm.
could just get up at any hour and work, and did all that, and that was just not didn't pan out well for me. And
No.
so I really, really do feel sleep is very important. I guess the other thing that's important is being very aware of what you're drinking and eating,
Mm.
and
Hmm.
just doing the best you can for your body. Whether it be, just drinking the right amount of water, the right amount of whatever, and eating organically, I think is very important. Just
Hmm.
really treating your body well. And then also just like simple things like just taking walks in nature, just getting outside. One thing I've been doing this year, last year or so, is I've been just touching a tree, just going outside and touching a tree.
Oh, I love that.
Seems kind of odd, I guess. I think my neighbor, I'm not sure what he thinks of me, but sometimes I'll even my rider, I really don't care, but I'll put my arms around the tree and or just lean in against it because there's so much energy that the tree is giving off. It really does help kind of
Yeah.
clear your system. And I've definitely been putting my feet, bare feet, even if it's cold
Hmm.
out, on the ground and trying to do that a whole lot to keep me grounded in the earth energy. So those are just some things that I do kind of through the day to keep me as best I can be because I would want anybody who's doing work with me to be in that same way, you know?
That's such a good point, and I love that you're bringing up things that are relatively easy to do. Like it may take some time to figure out the rhythm of it for each person, but it's not something extensive that has a bunch of steps with it. It's like go to basics, like be kind to yourself. What are you putting in your body? Are you getting rest? Are you grounding yourself with the outside? I love that.
Yeah. And I think also the one, I guess the biggest thing probably is
Hmm.
meditation.
Mm.
Meditation is so important. And I'm glad I started doing it many, many years ago. And I didn't
Hmm.
know how to do it. I didn't know why I was doing it. I just was super guided to start trying. And it has been the one thing that has superly is my new word,
I love that.
clarified my mind. And I
Hmm.
really can distinguish the difference between a low vibration thought and a high vibration thought as they travel through my mind now. Whereas before, I had no clue. I had zero clue what
Mm.
was a low vibey thought or a high vibey thought. I didn't even know there was a difference. I thought thoughts were just thoughts and they were just running around in my head. But meditation has been so critical.
Wow, I got like a energy upgrade when you said that. Do you have any recommendations if someone is starting out and they're just willing to try different types of meditation?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the first thing I might recommend, and I get this from A Course in Miracles, is to understand that you've got two voices. You've
Hmm.
got two trains of thought. And one is the low vibration, the lower self thought system, the ego thought system. And that's going to
Hmm.
be the fear-based thought system, the one that creates all the anxiety in our system. And then the other one is the Holy Spirit thought system or the spiritual thought system that's based only on love and that they don't integrate. And that's a huge clue. It's a huge key
Mm.
is that those thought systems have no integration whatsoever. And so I might have a guilt thought or an upsetting thought, or a, why did she do that? Or I can't believe I even thought that. I can't believe I thought that had that attacking thought or that guilt thought or projecting thought. And what I understand now is that's coming from the ego thought system. And so what I want to do is just notice it. Just notice, okay, that's
Mm.
that, and that's okay to have that, but
Hmm.
it's not the true Ruth. It's not the true me. The true me is that higher mind. And so when I am noticing that I'm in that lower vibration thought system, I call for help, I call for love, I call for me to come back into the right zone or the right channel. And then I want my real thoughts to come in. And my
Mm.
real thoughts are coming from my divine nature. Those are my real thoughts. Those are my meaningful thoughts.
Mm.
My meaningless thoughts are coming from fear. And so my meaningless thoughts are going to show me a meaningless world. My real thoughts are going to show me the real world and or help me feel that. And so in meditation, I try to just make sure I'm in that place where I understand the difference between those two, and I try to stay very connected to my higher mind. I hope that answered
Wow.
your question. Yeah.
Yeah, I answered it so well. I love the focus on if the thought comes up, then it feels low vibey, that you're not judging yourself, you're not getting angry at it, you're observing it kind of with a mindfulness and some
Right.
compassion and
Right.
sort of asking like a higher guidance system for help and letting it go and not having to do the work ourselves and carry that whole burden.
Right. And so you could have like a phobia, right?
Yeah.
I think there isn't a person on planet Earth who doesn't have some sort of phobia, fear of drowning, a fear of spiders, a fear of whatever it might be.
Hmm.
And so
Wasps and
when,
hornets for me. Uh-huh.
right, wasps and hornets. And so this might be a critical thing to talk about is when you have a phobic thought,
Hmm.
that's not your divine nature talking to
Mm.
you. It's your phobia
Hmm.
talking to you. And
Right.
so you want to just sort of disagree, deny, disengage, and dissolve it as best you can with the help from the higher mind. And when you do that, you can see that thing or look at that thing. It might be a mushroom, it could be anything, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And instead of being so triggered by it, just let that higher power help you look at it with and to sort of disengage from the fear
Yeah.
thought as best you can. Look at it and go, you know what? I'm going to let my holiness envelop this thought. I'm going to
It's
let
one of
my
the course
holiness,
lessons. Yeah.
yes, yeah, let my holiness envelop it, and I'm going to send it love. I don't want to have that thing for dinner. I don't want it to, be in my orbit. But if I have that thought, I'm just going to send it love and ask for the Holy Spirit or Spirit to help dissolve that fear. And
Mm.
then eventually, after a million times, it might be a million times, I don't know, it might be 10 times, slowly but surely, that phobia will begin to dissolve.
Mm.
And that's a really, like whatever it might be, that's a really great place to operate from in meditation. So if you have a phobic thought that comes up, and for me, it's been spiders. I'm like, here it is. And so I'll be like, all right.
Yeah.
So I just absolutely look at the wasp or the hornet or the spider and all creatures, great and small, just send it love and then let it go. Send it love, let it go. But again, you don't have to be engaged with that on the earth plane, but you can send it love. And eventually you will heal from that phobia. It could be in this lifetime, might be in the next lifetime, but you will definitely heal from that. And so there's hope, when you have a phobia. So I thought I'd just bring that up as an example.
That's a great example. It feels so structured with a goal of working towards something instead of being sort of paralyzed by fear.
Right, right. And you deal with clients. I mean, do you have some wisdom around that from your aspect when it comes to them dealing with something that might be super triggering or super upsetting that might be helpful for the viewers on this?
Yeah, sure. A lot of what I notice with my client work over the years and my own stuff too is like core beliefs popping up about not being enough, worrying about being abandoned, not doing enough, not getting something right. And it pops up a lot of times in their personal relationships, with partners, at work, with people in their lives, like their family. And it can really trigger like depressive episodes and wanting to dissociate with substances or behaviors to cope with the feelings. And so, a lot of times, actually, the stuff you were saying about noticing and not judging is so key to helping them heal through those moments.
Yeah,
Because what happens is when you put the judgment on of I shouldn't be feeling like this, or I should know how to deal with this by now, or I shouldn't be turning to this to deal with this really uncomfortable thought, or I want to avoid this and not even address what's going on. If you follow that train of thinking, you get paralyzed and it just perpetuates it and makes you feel worse.
right. Oh my gosh, that's really helpful for you to say all
Hmm.
that. Truly helpful. And as you've been doing the work with your clients and walking them through different processes and healing thoughts, have you noticed a change or noticed a shift as you've worked with them through maybe 6 months or a year? Have you noticed some of your clients kind of climb up the ladder a little bit and knowing that that's what's going on in their minds?
Yeah, I'm very blessed because I feel like the clients I work with, they work really hard and they take it seriously and they tell me when something's not working and we recalibrate when we need to. And so one of the things that they will tell me usually after a period of time working together is, oh, I noticed that this thing that used to really trigger me, like I was seeing this person that used to really bother me the other day, and I noticed like it wasn't as bad. Like I didn't have the kind of paralyzing fear, or
Right.
I wasn't ruminating after the conversation with them. I wasn't second guessing everything I was saying or thinking. And to me, that's a miracle, I think.
Yes, absolutely. It's a shift in their perception. They're able to.
Yes.
Yes, and that is a miracle. That's right out of A Course in Miracles when you have a shift from your phobia to love, and it's a little bit of a gradation there, but you definitely are creating a miracle in your mind, and it's healing. And when
Hmm.
you do enough healing, then those triggers will eventually go away, and that's something to work for and toward is for those triggers to go away. Wow, this is really helpful. Anything else you want to share that might be helpful for the viewer?
Yes, I think when you take yourself and your self-care and your energetic hygiene seriously, you give off an energy of other people also respecting your boundaries and now taking you seriously. It's sort of like falls into line like domino effect a little bit. And so what I've noticed for me personally, and like some of my clients talk about this too with themselves, is when we take our own self-care and we are really honest with where we're at and really identifying our base needs and taking the time to carve out, like you said, to meditate and to do any kind of forgiveness practice that we might have, something like that. You exude an energy of centeredness and confidence and I think some confidence,
Right.
and you're less likely to have the kind of conflicts with other people that you had before.
Right. That what really strikes me there is confidence, is
Yes.
being confident because spiritual divine our divine nature and spiritual nature is completely confident because love is
Hmm.
confident and fear isn't. Fear is the doubter, right? Fear is very
Yes.
doubting. And so, well, that's a really great guidance there. Thank you, Nathaniel. And self-care, energy hygiene, very important for to be balanced. And if something triggers us in any way, shape, or form, go into meditation, maybe look at those things. But when you're looking at anything, always remember to look at it with your divine mind, the Holy Spirit as your friend, as your guide,
Hmm.
because your friend and your guide isn't triggered by that. You
Yeah, I
know,
love that. I
yeah,
love that.
the Holy Spirit's not triggered by anything. The Holy Spirit's here to guide you and help you and down your path to healing and learning. Oh my gosh, well, I love this video today we've done, and
Me
I
too.
love that you are such an amazing counselor. And if people ever wanted to reach out to you, are you available for that?
Yeah, absolutely. They can find me at our website at our Hampton Roads practice at the Relationship Center. And under clinicians, you are welcome to check myself out, any of my other wonderful colleagues. We have a lot of extensive training and empathy, and it's a great group of people. I've worked with them for about 3.5, going on 4 years. So we're very lucky.
Well, that's so lovely. Thank you for mentioning that. And here at the end of the video, we'll just say that this video is being sponsored by my publisher, Bedazzled Ink. And so I'm very glad that they are sponsoring these videos now and helping me bring the information forward with people, amazing people like you. I just really respect you and honor you, and so grateful that you've done the work that you've done to help all the people who are coming your way. And so,
Oh, so kind. Thank you.
absolutely. All right. Well, have a great day, Nathaniel. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Soul Star Cafe. And I will see everyone very soon in the next
Yeah.
video.
Thanks so much for having me.